We are the learners and makers. After a magical Disneyland experience, our family of 4 hitched up our pop-up camper. We headed east into the February sunshine of Southern California's Mojave Desert. But little did we know, we would have to drastically change plans in the middle of nowhere. Ba, ba, ba. I can't help it.
When it comes to travel, adapting, changing, dealing with uncertainty come with the territory. It's a lot like parenting, actually. What do you think, Aster?
I mean, we kind of knew that transitioning from Disney was going to be a little tricky. I mean, here we are. We're in this nice hotel room. We're in the most magical place on earth. We're like eating amazing food and like...
And then we're going to go into the desert.
And camp. And
Yeah.
I mean, that always felt like it might be a little bit tricky.
Now, going into Mojave when we did, beautiful holiday weekend, the campground that we could not reserve in advance, first come, first serve, and we get into Mojave after hours of driving to find out, yes, this is a great place for people to come, and everybody had.
Well, it was just not that many spots. It was full. We knew that was a possibility.
For
It
sure.
wasn't like, oh, we didn't even think about this. No, we'd considered that, but we'd also gotten in and it was starting to get dark. One thing that we didn't consider was that in February, the days are really short. And so you're just kind of constantly fighting getting somewhere early enough and to get there in the light.
Yeah, definitely fighting that losing daylight is hard. Yeah.
So once we found out that there were no spots and it was kind of getting dark, we didn't feel comfortable just setting up anywhere. We ran into town, Needles, California, and
Grabbed a motel room. Thank you, Best Western.
went ahead and just found a room to stay in for the night and decided to come just try to find a spot the next day.
Well, because we knew that if we come back, the next day would be a Sunday, and it was President's Day weekend, but still, people are going to be leaving on a Sunday. And sure enough, we got in there Sunday morning, boom, plenty of spots were open. We found a great one and wound up having this beautiful day. I mean, Mojave is stunning. Welcome back to desert camping. We're out in the Mojave National Preserve, southeastern California, kind of near that little knife point in Nevada in the southern end. It's quiet except for a breeze, and you look out in the distance, it's just vast dry plain and these little lumps of rock rising out of it like ships on some sort of dark sea. It's just stunning. You think the red parts are what?
Where the spikes will grow in. Yeah. See these little bumps here? I bet those are the beginnings of them.
Oh, yeah. What do you think, Aster? What do you observe?
Probably.
Probably what?
I agree with Cotton.
What does it feel like?
You can feel it.
I wanted to hear what you observed.
It's kind of smooth.
Mm.
You thought it. Connor, wait up!
Apparently the word of the day here is Yucca. Aster, what is that?
Ayaka! Cool, huh?
Very cool.
Flat spot on top of the mountain.
There's so much life in the desert. And we went down to the visitor center for the National Preserve. We explored a bunch of areas, made all these plans for the things we want to do. That night, we all went out under this beautiful, starry sky. Connor told me later that he had not fully understood how many stars the sky could have until he saw the sky at Mojave. And that was the good part.
That night, we also knew there was a wind advisory, and now we know what that means.
It means if you've ever been punched and have known you were going to be punched and you couldn't do anything about it, it's a little what it's like. We could hear these massive gusting winds building out in the hills and mountains to the west, and then they would just blow in and just rock the camper and blow the canvas and just make the canvas sound like someone was outside smacking it with a cricket bat.
I don't admit worse than that. This is the whole camper shaking and the whole. It's dark, so I don't know. Maybe it felt more dramatic than it actually was, but it was intense. You could hear it coming, just like a train coming to hit. Yeah. We didn't sleep very well. At least we didn't sleep very well.
Fortunately, the kids slept through it. But the next day, there was also no sign of it ending anytime soon. And that morning, we checked forecast, we talked it over. We didn't even have coffee because we couldn't light the stove.
It was too windy.
And we decided we're leaving.
Sometimes things just don't go exactly as you planned. We are at Mojave, and it's pretty windy here, and it was really windy overnight, and it's supposed to be that way all day. So we're just gonna abandon ship, and we're gonna go on to our next place. We gotta pack up.
Yeah, so 8 o'clock in the morning, we're getting on the road, no coffee, and trying to pack up a pop-up camper in that kind of wind is quite the Sisyphean task. We get the canvas somewhat in, boom, and it just blows out like a kite.
Number one tip, if you have to pack up in the wind, unzip all the windows full open just to give a way for the air to move through.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that this time, and it was obvious. We packed up in wind again on this trip. This was not our only windy.
No.
This is the worst wind, but we did pack up in wind again, and we did open up the windows the other time, and it was much, much easier, much better.
Learn from our mistakes.
Open the windows if you're packing up a pop-up in the wind. It just feels like a little bit of everything is going wrong. There's several things. We're just not meant to be in this kind of wind, and we're just not set up for that. So hopefully this is it for windy for the rest of the trip.
Our plan had been that after Mojave, we were going to go north to Death Valley National Park, which is still also part of the Mojave Desert. So that was, we knew there was going to be a long day on the road.
Take a picture of you, our amazing driver.
I'm just the man behind the wheel.
Just the man behind the wheel, getting us places safely. Oh man.
So we drive on this windy day, white knuckling the steering wheel to try to keep the car and the camper fairly straight on the road. as we're driving past Las Vegas, the sky is just brown. There's so much dust in the air. And we knew that once we got toward Death Valley, all the wind was supposed to chill out. And sure enough, eventually the sky starts to clear. Really looking up, like we're getting close to Death Valley.
We're feeling very hopeful.
Yeah, we're rolling in there. It's like you see people at this one area where they love to gather to watch the sunset. And the sun, sure enough, is about to set. So we get into Death Valley.
We're fighting the sun. We're fighting the short day again.
Oh, the short days. We really did not think about that. We're so accustomed to camping on those long summer nights. But we get into Death Valley. There were 2 campgrounds Jody had looked at, neither of which you could reserve online. It was first come, first serve. We also had no way to check, like, you know, what the campground status was, unfortunately. You just pretty much drive out all the way out here and
show up,
good luck.
Hope that there's a spot.
And there was not. Both campgrounds full.
There was one campground, and I thought, oh, we'll be able to have a spot no matter what, because this one says it rarely fills.
And now we know why.
It's a parking lot. It says it's like desert grab or desert sands or I don't know in the description, and I guess I should have looked a little closer.
Well,
but it's a parking lot.
It's a reminder of the power of names and words because it's called Sunset Campground. Doesn't that sound lovely?
It sounds so nice.
And the photos of it, I give the Park Service credit. The photos, it looks so lovely. There's like a strand of palms behind them, but the shot's way back. It's just, you know, if you're in like a hard-sided camper where you've got a generator and you can run the AC and you've got your TV and a chair and all that, you know, I could understand that it works and it's better than nothing. The kids took one look at this, and I mean, I could see the mutiny flare up in their eyes. It's like, and they are both just like, we are not staying here. Like, we can't even ride a scooter around. Like, this looks terrible. And we tried to rationalize for a little bit to be like, well, you know, if we just maybe try to tough it out one night, we can handle it. Tomorrow, maybe there'll be more spots. But at the same time, you know, sometimes you go to like, we're holding the parent card. Like, we could play it. It's not like the kids can take the car and drive. We did not feel conviction about staying there and trying to tough it out. We did not feel like it was
at all like what we were wanting to do.
No.
It wasn't the camping experience that we were looking for, and it just maybe because of the wind before and whatnot, we decided to just bail and do another night in another motel.
So we drove back with the like hour and a half, 2 hours back to this little town in Nevada. And Jody fortunately managed to snap up one of like the only remaining motel rooms. And you know, we're driving back. It's now just full on dark.
We're exhausted.
And we're exhausted. It's been a long day. It's been a stressful day. We are tired, and Connor in the back is just like, should we just go home?
Maybe this trip is done.
Maybe. Thank you for joining us in our night of despair. Way more to come. You can follow our everyday adventures on Instagram and TikTok at Learners and Makers. Check out our website, learnersandmakers.com, for more in-depth pieces about family travel, disabled travel, and more. We'll see you next time.